Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target morning show where we invest with fighter pilot precision every day. We are coming to you live from Vegas from the Cromwell Hotel, which is the location of the famous Dre's After Hours Club. It used to open at like midnight or 2 a.m. or something like that. Who knows in the days of COVID whether it's even open now or not. But anyhow, you can see it's kind of another swanky place here in Vegas. If you haven't been, I'd highly recommend. It's been a long time since I've been there. But today we got a good show for you. We're going to talk about pets today, which is a little bit different from the themes we've been talking about before. As far as there is a new subscription service from a company called Barkbox. So yeah, kind of like you can get Wine Box and all the other boxes that are out there. It's no kidding called Barkbox. And in that, who knows what you're going to get. You're probably going to get food and treats and little sweaters or something for your puppies. Anyhow, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about other ways to invest in the theme of your pets and how much we're staying more at home and taking care of our pets. So if you're interested in that, please continue in. And with that, let's get the show started. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the On Time, On Target morning brief where we invest with fighter pilot precision every day. Hope you enjoyed the intro there. And like I talked about earlier, we're going to talk about our pets today. And if you're like me, you probably spend a little too much money on those pets. And if you want to capture on that theme, and again, why now? Well, we always have kind of spent money on our pets, but for now that we're primarily, the work from home environment or the lack of travel environment, however you want to play it there. Basically, the angle is that we're spending more time at home. Maybe some more folks got pets that didn't have them before. But either way, you're going to spend a ton of money on keeping your pets happy and healthy, of course. And so how can we capitalize on that? So I've got a few names for you to take a look at today. But before we do, make sure you have your chat window and your Q&A window set up, your call sign and all attendees selected. And as always, standard disclaimer applies. This is a financial education presentation, so you have to do your own due diligence for acting upon anything that you hear in this presentation. Full disclosure information is available at ototnow.com. All right, our mission objectives for today are to grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. Primarily, it's to grow our money. So there's a thing out there, which I had not heard of until I woke up this morning a little bit ago and started doing my study for the morning brief. And that is Barkbox. So pretty hilarious. This is a startup offering a monthly subscription for dogs. That's going to go public with the STIC is the current ticker. It's a SPAC, so it's a special purpose acquisition type company. So it's going to go out there, and I don't really have any more information on it. We'll get to Luckin back here in a minute in the news that's breaking there, but yeah. But yeah, as far as Barkbox, monthly subscription, I'm sure you get food, you probably get cute little toys, treats, blah, blah, blah. All for, a set it and forget it, shows up at your door kind of concept. So conceptually, it's a great idea. How will it work as far as money flowing in? I'm sure as it switches to some cool, right now the ticker is STIC, which isn't cool, but if Bark is available, then that's what I would expect. Woof is already taken, WOF. That's a private ticker by Petco. But yeah, they're going to have some cool name for it. And you'll be able to invest in it. So we're certainly going to keep an eye on that and may buy the SPAC ahead of time. We'll see if it doubles or triples today, then we'll probably stay out of it. But some other names there, you can kind of go down to the long-term investments there. We talked about Stick, Woof. Chewy is obviously your online pet retailer where you can get basically everything online. There's also Elanco and Zoetis, which are animal health companies. So specifically focused on what the keeping your pets healthy. So I don't know, we can't go to the veterinarian and get out of there for under $350 for two. So kind of crazy expensive. For our question of the day, we're going to talk about what is an accredited investor. You may or may not already know this. So it might be a review for some of you, but basically you need $1 million and above of investable assets. That means stock market investable, not real estate or Bitcoin. But also, you can qualify with income if you have a $200,000 income as an individual or $300,000 as a couple combined income. Then you would qualify, and all that does is it's protection for you to make sure that before you get involved in an IPO or an alternative investments, or I think technically to buy Bitcoin you have to be an accredited investor. It's one of those boxes that you just check away saying confirm you're an accredited investor and I agree to the terms and policies. Blah blah blah. You can self-identify as an accredited investor. I would not recommend that. I will accredit you if you are interested and you're a client, of course, and I'll send you official form saying you are an accredited investor and that I've verified your information to give you a little more legitimacy. Excuse me. We'll talk more about that later. All right, our flow today is going to be long, short, open, short, long. We're going to take a look at the markets in the world. They're in the green because everybody's got their money stimulus anticipation and hopes out. The Federal Reserve yesterday said rates aren't going to move till 2023. So basically 3 straight years more of free money. I think it's going to be closer to 10 myself. So when you hear the Fed keeping the rates at 0, that is such a tailwind for the market. I know everybody's starting to talk bubbles and markets are all-time highs. Well, that's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. If you make capital cheap, then you can put that capital to work. And that's what business people do, is they put the capital to work and they make money with it. So don't shame them, hop on board and let's do this. As long as the Fed doesn't change its tune, we're probably looking at a 5-year runway of an increasing market. It's not a straight line. Strap in, wear your seatbelt for the roller coaster, but it's going to be marching higher just because capital is cheap. Okay, we look at the headline reviews. Robinhood, if it didn't break 5 minutes prior to me taking to the air, I would have done this as my headline story today instead of Barkbox. But yeah, Robinhood just got lit up by the SEC. We'll talk about that more in a minute. There has been so many negative things associated with Robinhood, but we'll get to that once we get to our headline review. Okay, there's our long-term investments we already talked about. Short-term, see the chat room. I've already put those in there. And we will execute the market open and we'll do the transition to Q&A. Make sure you pop your questions in there. And then I will cover my question at the end of the day. All right. So Luckin, we'll see what's going on with that. And there was 180 million settlement with the SEC. I was assuming that the stock would pop higher off of that. We shall see, because that's putting it behind us. So Burner, if I haven't had a chance to look, you can tell me whether that's up or down with the 6 exclamation points. I'm assuming that's up. It would probably be a frowny face if it was down. Let's see. Predator adopted a stray. Yeah, good time with kittens. Spaying and neuter those. Ugh. Yeah. How about daughters, right? Smartphone with Barkbox access. I like it. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on in the market overall. I'm going to share out to you TD Ameritrade right now. And there's where we are for the past year. Make sure I get that centered up so all of it's showing to you. Yeah, knocking off all-time highs. How are we setting up for 2021? Yeah, I think we're going to set up higher. I really do. If the vaccine works, that sort of thing. Yeah, 40%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's people in the chat room calling Luckin to double today. Would certainly like to have that happen, since I probably own too much of it. But it's, hey, coffee firm in China, right? Coffee, high margin, addictive product. China, largest middle class, huge economy. I don't know, what's to lose? Okay, once you stop lying about things, you got to stop that. But once you stop lying and you actually have a legitimate business, then you should be going forward. They have, I think, 170,000 automated independent coffee machines, assuming they're telling the truth, which, the last person that's going to lie to you is the person that just got busted for 180 million for lying, right? So you would think, okay, they're going to tell the truth. Anyhow, we shall see how Luckin does. We'll pull that chart once we get to the live market. Okay, we're going up. Are we going higher between now and the end of the year? I think probably either creep higher or flatline, unless I did see some side effect headlines coming out of the vaccine. So of course, as we release these things, these vaccines into the wild, that one of them is probably going to flop, right? We haven't really vetted these things to the traditional, 5 years of testing. Maybe that's too much. That's not for me to decide. But in relation to our normal testing, we haven't really vetted these things. So therefore, there are going to be some unintended consequences, as with anything in life. So we deal with that. But yeah, if one of these strains misses, like the AstraZeneca one that's trying to catch up, and then it's, gives people COVID instead of preventing it, well, that would be a problem. But we'll see. So anyhow, that's where we are. Let's take a look at the last 5 days. Here was yesterday, kind of flat to uppish. You saw our trade worked in laser in the morning. And then laser, I think, is poised to take off again today. We aren't going to trade it again. We had the nice big gap up, and we're kind of settling into the open. So currently in the green. We'll see if we open in the green. Again, stimulus talk is the entire headlines as far as I'm concerned out there. Okay, here's our day trading charts, just to give you a little bit of a preview. We're looking at Riot Long. That's tied to Bitcoin, which is up huge. You'll see that in a minute. So Riot Blockchain is an ETF that capitalizes on Bitcoin. That's up, let's see, 8%, I think. And then also Roku. HBO Max starts streaming live through, not live, but streaming through Roku tomorrow. So that's pretty big. They're up 7% on those news. I don't have really anything for you short. The only short that I have, we would have to wait until after it opens, and it's lame. So I'm not going to take it, but we'll look at it. Okay, let's go over to CNBC and check out the headlines. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Barkbox in China. Oh boy. All right. Are you allowed to post that? Probably not. All right, here we go over to the headlines, taking a look at where we are, a point up between a third and a half point across the board. Let's check out Europe. Mixed, but mostly in the green there. Asia in the green across the board. US, these are our numbers from yesterday. The Dow was in the green all the way up till just right at the close. So we jumped up, obviously, after the favorable Fed confirmation. I won't call it news, just confirmation that nothing is changing, which is pretty much they could put that on auto repeat for 6 weeks, every 6 weeks for now until what, 2025. No changes. We're good. Get back to making money. But you see across the board, nice pop up in some of the NASDAQ names yesterday. Laser was one of them. Bonds, no real change across the board in bonds. Oil 48, so creeping up towards 50. Silver popped again, 2% yesterday, 4% today. So I don't really know what's on. They say it's because of stimulus. I don't necessarily see the correlation 1-for-1 between $1 trillion in stimulus and silver, but somebody does. Good on them. They're making money right now, at least. Okay, here's our Bitcoin number. Look at that. We talked about, hey, is it ever going to crack 20,000 again? Well, yeah, and it did yesterday, right? And boom, 8%. So yesterday called it, right? Called it and missed it. So there's talking about it and there's taking action. I specifically was asked yesterday, are you getting into Bitcoin now that it's 20,000? And I chuckled it with my normal dismissive tone of, well, no, I'm not, but it's probably going to scream higher, and it did. So I'm, right technically, but wrong as far as the allocation of capital, which is my job. So yeah, it's at 23,000. Is it going higher? Yeah, it probably is. I'm still not going to put my money behind it. So it's just me talking and not walking. But yeah, Bitcoin, hello, 50K. Let's just do it. Let's just scream higher for what I can't tell any good reason other than it cracked 20 finally after waiting for so long. Okay, that's my diatribe on Bitcoin in the morning and why I'm not invested in it after talking about it so much. Okay, let's take a look at some headlines. The banner was across the top with Robinhood, so let's see where that one is. Here we go. Okay, misleading customers about how it makes money. So when you pick up your phone or wherever you are, and everything's free. Well, everything's not free, right? So, it's not free. So stop thinking it's free. You just got to figure out how they're actually making their money, and and go from there. So Robinhood sells trades, they front run. I'll do a big bit on it tomorrow. But obviously it's not free, right? And they give you a free stock when you sign up or something like that. I don't know. I'm not on it. But I know a lot of people are. And if you are, good on you, getting, investing, learning, making money, that sort of thing. Just realize that, yeah, they're a little bit sketch as to how they do things. All right. So let's see. We're waiting on stimulus today. Yep. Bitcoin soars past 23,000. There's the Roku headline up 7%. So here's some of now that we have vaccines out there, now we're going to start taking, so we field one and then we start taking a harder look at the other ones, right? So the FDA couldn't stand in the way of the first one. So it just kind of bulldozed its way through. And now we're going to start taking a little harder look at the other ones. So I don't know. You've heard government projections that we'll all be vaccinated by March. Some say 2022. A lot of it depends on FDA. If the FDA continues to just kind of approve everything as it shows up on their desk, that's nice. Then we would all be vaccinated by March with something, whether it works or not. Don't know. We shall see. Okay, let's see what else we have going on. Jobless numbers, all that were not unexpected. They were out this morning. We'll get a new unemployment number tomorrow. I don't think that will be too telling, if you will, or move the markets. Here's a vending machine thing, reinvented for, I know this is an ad, I got that, but vending machines, was talking about the coffee vending machines. I think we're gonna see more of that, more of the independent, touchless, humanless type business models that are out there. Yep, Tom Lee, he always sees a 10% correction. That's what he does when he wakes up in the morning, and that's how he gets on TV. All right. Trying to see if there's anything else we need to talk. There's the Fed. Where'd it go? Outlook slightly 4.2% growth and 5% unemployment rate. Those would be great numbers, right? So, all right, let's talk about these pet investments real quick, and then we'll switch into our short-term stuff. So here we go. Chewy is what I have up for you. This is the online one. I would not touch this here just because it's run up so much. So if you came out with this thesis back in the day being March, when the sky is falling, stocks are crashing, all of that, then yeah, good on you. If you say, hey, we're going to work from home and we're going to have our pets around, you've got a sweet triple. I wouldn't touch it here, right? This is, going ballistic. You don't touch stocks that are going ballistic unless there's something changing. There's nothing changing, in my opinion, with Chewy, other than there's this other company out there. So Chewy, don't touch it here. Zoetis, I think, is a fine long-term hold because, pets are going to need care. And, it hasn't really done the huge move. It was down in 100s at 160. I think that's fine. I like that preferably over Elanco. But again, I'm not quite as familiar with Elanco. I follow Zoetis. So, but that's another option. But if you just want to get around all of it and go, okay, I don't care, I'm going to take the ETF. It's easy to come up with PAWS, P-A-W-Z, and that's had a steady flow of money too. So again, that's your ETF option. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our getting set up for our trades. Okay, I put a few names in the chat. Let me pop that open real quick and hit those again. For anybody that joined late. Yes, I did say it would touch 2,000 before 20,000. All right, there I just put the chats going back to Bitcoin temporarily. All right, so here we are with our trade setups. Again, 2 longs. The only short out there is that PRPH, which has a blank screen right now because it does not trade after market. They broke an agreement, so we'll pop into that later if neither of these work. So SPY on the left, standard. We have Riot Blockchain. I like the price point here. It has jumped up, I think, 8 to 10%. We'll see where it opens. But this is a derivative where I told you yesterday, if you can't buy Bitcoin, buy GBTC. You can also buy Riot Blockchain. doesn't necessarily tie one for one, but it is a derivative play for sure. And then the other one over here, Roku, you know about. So these streaming services tend to be pretty profitable, and the stock has already run up, but we'll see if it's got more legs in it today. All right, let me get set up for my trades here. Okay, good morning and welcome to the On Time On Target play of the day. You have three screens in front of you. On the left, we have the SPY tracking a 1 minute chart of the S&P 500 as it moves higher going into the open. We have two longs today to look at. One is Riot Blockchain, which is a kind of a Bitcoin derivative. And then the second one, stand by for the bell. The second one is Roku, which is starting their streaming of HBO Max tomorrow. So we'll get zoomed in here a little bit on the market. Market could go either way today. And we'll get zoomed in here. I'm going to lose my arrow, but zoom in on Riot Blockchain going higher. And look at this guy. So yesterday we saw this in Laser. It sold off, profit taking and then marched higher. So we're going to watch both of these pretty close here. Again, you're looking at about a 15-cent price point here. If you are in a Riot, that's going to be a little easier to trade. If you're over here, you've got to take like a $4 price point. So, all right, I'm tracking the low of the day as we watch things open. I'll just do 11.55. So 11.70 would be our 15-cent mark. So let's do that. If it hits 11.70, we're going to take a Riot long. And if it breaks down below 11.55, that'll be good. That we'll get a better entry. Again, it'll be a 15-cent stop, and we're looking at Riot long. Okay, it's going to be even a different entry now. So we use 11.50 as our stop and 11.65 is our long entry point. So again, waiting for 11.65 to take it along. Don't jump the gun here. 11.65 is validation that it's going higher. If it continues to sell off, we get a better entry point. It's starting to look like it's going to hit that high, or 11.65. There it is. I saw it. So take 11.65. Make sure you're in the trade. You're setting your lower stop at 11.50. And then I think we're going to sit back and get paid in this thing today, but we shall see. Okay, so 11.65, 15 cents. 11.80 is off the chart, and I can't expand my chart anymore. Again, 11.65 is the entry point. You could still take it here if you did not get the entry. And we'll watch it from there. All right. S&P's up 0.5%. That's good. This thing kind of hopped up, and let's see what we had here. So $4 stop. Basically, it moved $4 down and then $7 back up. Don't necessarily like that. Remember, have your stop in here. If it hits 11.50, we're out. If it doesn't hold this 11.53 low of the day, then we have to say, oops, wrong. And we're down an R, and no big deal. We don't cry about it. We move on. All right, I'm going to get rid of, not quite yet. Shouldn't have stopped you out yet. Should still be in it. Not to turn you into a junkie, but it is kind of like the ultimate junkie status when it gets down within 1 penny of your trade or of your limit, and then it goes on to work. You're like, pretty cool. Or if you cheat on me and put your stop somewhere else, then you can be out. But we'll see. Not making the epic call because obviously it's not a good sign that was within 1 penny of the stop. But yeah, if it goes on to work, that's something to celebrate there. All right, I did want to take a look at that short PRPH. It's probably not going to have the volume in it. And of course, it's showing up. So not nearly enough volume to trade. They broke some contract and it was showing that was a big deal, a negative headline. So we'll look at some other longs we had out there. Accenture. Did not see a headline for Accenture. But ACN is what I'm going for here. ACN. So up 8%, nice move up, 260, 265 out of the gate there. Kind of giving you that, the leveling off thing. So not much to trade there. And what am I talking about? Why am I not having Luckin typed in here? Because we're printing money. So I got the, let's see, one of y'all said it was up 40%. So I'm thinking that it actually continued higher to 50% instead of profit taking. Huh. I won't say that that's any great call because it's really not moving. But hey, if you look on this chart, which I don't think I have the ability to back out and manipulate it like I normally do, but that's okay. You know, it's been the house of pain, right? So it's a $51 stock, and then it drops down to below. I think the lowest purchase point I had was $1.08. I think it actually cracked the dollar, but I don't remember, and I didn't get any there, so it's irrelevant if it did because I didn't buy. But yeah, $1.08, $1.18, somewhere in there. That's where started to load up and added all the way up through, you know, $2, $3, that sort of thing. So if you're with me, your price point could be anywhere from in the ones, that would be terrific, or up into the low threes. I don't think it would be higher than low threes. But either way, you're making a ton of money. I like that it's above 5. I would like to see it stabilize above this 5 level. So it can be kind of legitimate again. So if that holds today, I'm very optimistic that Luckin's going to continue to run. People have asked me, since we have such a pristine entry point, say it's $2 or $3, it doesn't matter. It's like, how much does this thing have to run before you're going to take profits? And I'm like, I'm looking at $20. If I've put you into other things, I've had to shave some out of your account, but for the most part, you have the whole holding, and I do want to hold this. I may start taking profits a little bit around 10 because I won't be able to stand it. But if we're hitting 10 before the end of the year, you know, if it takes another double from here, it's like, whoa, all right. So we'll see. It's something that I follow every day. So that's fun to keep up over there, but let's talk about our trade. We're up an hour right now, and it's marching higher. So up over that 10%. So it's really got to go to about 12%, and then we're out. So let's do some math real quick. So we're in at 1165, 1180. So 1210 is your exit. So you get your 1210 typed in there, 1210 to the upside, 11.5 to the downside. Put those stops in and go about your day. Don't leave me because I'm not done talking. But after I'm done talking, then you can go about your day with those kind of stops. I do like this action. This was a nice floor that it built in here. Almost knocked us out, and it's going back higher. All right, let's take a look at some other things other than Luckin, even though that's fun to look at. Airbus, ABUS, which I believe is Airbus, got a huge upgrade today. No, it's not. It's Arbutus Biopharma. So disregard. Don't know the headline there, but they're up 10%. Let's see. MongoDB is a software firm. They got a big upgrade today too, so they're up 5%. Nothing huge going on there. And then SI, I feel like I should know what SI is. Our trade, I jinxed our trade by talking about it. Silvergate Capital, that sounds like a SPAC. If anybody has time to Google that off the side and see what Silvergate Capital is, SI is up big. Obviously, this was the trade, right? It was at 5%. Come in here, wait for a little bit of move higher, $48, $1 stop, bam, printing money there. All right, there we are. I completely black widowed our trade after talking about it. So lesson learned for me. So we're out of our trade. We're down in our, you got to be out. So don't try to get fancy with the thinking, well, I'm just going to slide down to 1145 for my stop, because inevitably it'll go to 1140, and then you keep sliding, and then pretty soon you're out a lot more money than you ever intended to risk. And if you do that, I unfortunately have to use the term idiot, because that's how you lose money, and that's how you violate the rules, the mathematical rules of our strategy. So adult up, take your loss, move on. Okay, let's talk about what's going on in the big world. We've got Luckin up 36 now, so it's selling off because it was off closer to 46 when we started talking about. So black widowed that too. We talked about the psychedelics are all up, kind of hot lately. There's our MongoDB up 5%. Laser traded that long yesterday. It worked all the way up to the 5R point if you held it, or if you held any shares past the 3R exit. Worked nicely. It's up again today, and what a great long-term story. Bought more yesterday. Probably don't have enough yet, so you may see me nibbling on that through there. Sony is a name we haven't talked about in a while. Obviously, PlayStation 5. I still don't have possession of mine for my ungrateful kids that will be mad on Christmas when they don't have one. But that's okay. They can get over it. But yeah, Sony's killing it this time of year. So I bet their numbers in Q1, when they have earnings of Q4, will be amazing. Hero, we don't talk about a lot. That's an esports deal. And I was actually watching TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I was in a situation last night where I was in front of a TV for a while and was watching drone races. So I know Predator, I could almost guarantee that you've watched some drone races on TV. Anyhow, 6 of them flying these drones at crazy speeds. It's kind of fun to watch. for like 5 minutes. But anyhow, esports is really where this is out, not about drone racing. And obviously that has a huge future there. All right, let's see what is working against us today. Not many. First of all, there's only, 20 names. Camping World Holdings has gone down. As the vaccine rolls out, the money's flowing back out of CWH. Unfortunately, because I really like the long-term theme, but I have not been right recently. Pfizer, Intel, Nikola, we haven't talked about Nikola in a while. Airlines took a downgrade. Overall, not a whole lot of emotion there. So go back to green there. There's Luckin again. I like it. And moving over back to check our, see what ended up happening with this riot thing. So man, just busted out by 4 cents. Oh well, it does happen. All right, let's go switching screens over to, nope, not that one because that's my trading account. Need a better system here. All right, accredited investor definition. There we go. And it's sharing to you now. Okay, so we talked about the requirements. So let's pull those up. I'm not going to show you the video because it's boring. So where's the requirements? Maybe I skipped over them. Right at the top. You'd think they'd be right here. So anyhow, you have to have $1 million in investable assets. It's for your own protection, so you don't get involved in like private placements and IPOs and completely get, lose money, which chuckle, IPOs haven't lost money in a while, right? You just participate. There we go. Just participate in the darn thing and you make money, it seems. So there's your $1 million investable. It says net worth, but it's not quite, right? Because you could have a bunch of that in your house, which doesn't count. Primary home does not count. Investment houses can. I'd have to take a look at it. And here's your income. So nice fat incomes. I mean, there's people making that. 200K a year individual, 300 joint, and again for 2 years, and the expectation of doing so. And again, that's a judgment call. That's why I would not self-accredit to the IRS. I would have a financial firm like mine come in and put it on my letterhead and have a CFP say you're accredited. That way the question's over as soon as they ask it. It's like, nope, here's my letter. Steve said I'm good, then you're good. Purpose is your protection. Here's things I may or may not have to collect from you to validate. Usually it's the tax returns. Just like, okay, shoot me your your 1040 front page and I can tell your income because it's right there. So that's generally what you need. If you have to get fancier because you're off into other things, then you can do that as well. Okay, there are higher levels that accredited investor. The next one is qualified purchaser, which is 5 million. And there are certain things you have to be a qualified purchaser to get in on. I've run the Top Golf China placement, the Top Golf Southeast Asia placement. I do several things with Blackstone, and most of the stuff is at the accredited investor level, but a lot of it's qualified purchaser. Or I said not a lot of it, but some of it is a qualified purchaser, 5 million and above, and there's no income requirements. You have to have the 5 million investable. And of course, I tell everybody, if you got 10 million, just go direct. Blackstone will take your call if you got 10 million. Otherwise, you got to work through somebody like me. All right, that's all I've got for you today. So we're setting up for a pretty good market day here. Let's see how the looked like everything was holding. So just click these out of the futures into 0.5%, like it across the board. Hopefully we get some stimulus today. With that, I'm gonna let you guys go and we'll talk more about Robinhood tomorrow after I learn more. Talk to you soon.